I'm Travis Wayne Goodsell. I was born and raised Mormon, not in Utah. As a result, I was required to do my own study and research into the church because I had born-again Christians to answer to. And they were given the Godmakers film to come after me with. As a result, I became a scholar of Mormonism in more ways than one. It would be too long and would be a separate video in and of itself to explain all that I have become in order to understand the Mormon Church. And if Mormons are thinking that I therefore support the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, you got another thing coming. Joseph Smith, yeah, have no problem. He's the good guy. Brigham Young, bad guy. And as a Mormon, born and raised, I'm okay with that. This is where Mormons can't understand. You have 13 million Mormons who have left the church because they couldn't handle the lies of the prophets. But they go through a faith crisis because they don't know the truth. They just know the church is lying to us. The remaining 3 million have turned hardcore. They're anti-science, anti-truth, anti-logic, as everything is changed from what Joseph Smith had it. And they force, through all sorts of methods, to have people accept them for the lies, calling the truth. Nothing is the same as Joseph's organization. Not the doctrine, theology, ritual, scripture, administration, none of it is the same. And so this channel is to reboot the 2 other channels that the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints had shut down and silenced. You do not know this. I saved your lives from Armageddon. But I had to sacrifice my voice on YouTube and on my website and on Amazon. The church wants me silenced. They have succeeded. So this is a whole new channel trying to get out the word. When the church, when I found out that the church had ordered and paid for my assassination, I took the church to court. I soon learned that the federal government is in the pocket of the church. Judges here in the federal courts are all compromised to the church. You cannot sue the church in Utah. If you're familiar with James Huntsman, it was in California. But he blew it by calling tithing a donation. It is a protection racket. If you don't know what that word is, look it up. Or watch The Sopranos. But if you're Mormon, that's an evil show. But then you're not going to understand SNL when they did that skit of Robert Mueller showing up at the diner with Journey playing in the background. And so you do not understand that the church is afraid of me. This is why they go through all the efforts to have me assassinated and to silence me with cyber terrorism. I didn't stop doing videos on the other two channels because my feelings were hurt. Dear God, they silenced me. Cyber attacks on my computer, not just the algorithm on YouTube and the YouTube employees who are the ones responsible for my cyber attacks because they got my computer access information and therefore are able to bypass my security systems, making them worthless. All these videos are going to serve to educate you on just how evil the church is. And wouldn't you know it, Joseph Smith already told us that this would happen. It's the great and abominable church in the Book of Mormon. It's Babylon in Doctrine and Covenants, section 1, verse 16. Oh, they didn't decode that in 1981? They said they got it all. Oops. Yeah, there's a lot they missed. There's a lot they're not telling us, and there's reasons why. They're the bad guys of Scripture. And they're murdering you. We have a pandemic. Oh, Joseph Smith talked about that too. Section 45, verse 31. And in 32, he tells us to stay home, stay safe. 200 years in advance. Have any of you listened? No, you were extorted to go to work, to go to school, to go to church. Church is the super spreader. Nelson just came out the other day saying, oh, yeah, you have to wear a mask in the temple, but not church. Church is the super spreader. We saw the fruit on Tuesday's reporting. 30%. We are losing more Mormons and American citizens and people of the world, but specifically focusing on Utah, with this second wave of the virus. People are dying like flies. And that's not an exaggeration. It's ugly. And the church controls you, even if you're an ex-Mormon. They are using you to help the church. The church, through tithing alone, thanks to the whistleblower, doesn't need us as members. So we can be critical all we want, just don't expose them as Joseph Smith's great and abominable church. Don't expose them for their murders and their lies. This is where I differ from ex-Mormon video channels. They just promote the same stuff over and over and over again. I give you stuff you've never even thought of. I mean, did you realize that the first vision, if it's Jesus, is telling Joseph Smith that he's not to be forming a Christian church and that Jesus is an abomination in his sight? Oh, whoops, Mormons think we're Christian. And that Jesus of the Gospels is our God. Yeah, I don't hear any ex-Mormons being critical of that. Instead, they're all complaining, well, no, there was no religious revival in the spring of 1820. Dear God. So, we got conference coming up. This is why they silenced me. They don't like it when I do videos. So, hang on.